Hey there, it's Matt. Welcome to another video, and I'm very glad you're here, as I always am. My last two got a good amount of attention comparatively, 5 and 3 likes, so that's heartwarming. That's something I'll cherish for a long time. This video is about the act of introspection, but more specifically it is a video on how introspection can lead you to different conclusions and what the path to those conclusions can mean. I believe that within my mind's own working, and within some people's working in their minds and how they think and so on, introspective people, there is a culminated belief that through the act of thinking about something, you are to gain knowledge on that thing, as would be the natural implication. I find this to be a incredibly important thing to introspectively think. But in terms of the knowledge it brings, it can be limited. To me, it is more so a instantaneous, instinctive thing more than anything else. Now, what's fascinating is that if you are to introspectively think into your psyche, that means into actions you have committed in the past and ideas you have leaned on and so on, then you can find negativity within that. Now, the negative drive of our minds can be a frightening one. As we are all vanquished and stupefied in moments of hatred. And by that I mean that there is an undeniable dying of the psyche, and even to a degree the ego, when you get frustrated, when you get mad. Although people could perceive it the other way around, they could perceive it as an increase. But I don't really see it like that. Mostly because, well, when the ego dies, it signifies in some way, it would signify the start of a new self, as then you rebuild. But your ego can be what keeps you together. Let's put it that way. So, through the introspective lens, you are guided by what it is that you foresee and what it is that you want. Meaning, if you foresee a potential avenue, a direction that you didn't previously, then that is your seeing, that is your sight. And what's interesting about that is that Often, a lot of people in rough times don't want to perceive the negative parts of themselves, or in any way, at any point in time. And yet they can still shine through during introspective phases, which is why negative people tend to avoid them. Being in kindness with your faults is very important. And being within a joy is not always the right solution when you are working toward a conclusion, when you are working toward an actual discovery. You know what's fascinating about it? Introspection is one of the keys of thought. It is the key of thinking, which leads you to wonder, psychopaths, sociopaths, do they really think? Or do they just say they do? Do they just pretend to? Because, well, thinking is retrospective analysis. And it is always during retrospective analysis that a person with demented tendencies realizes and notices them. So that is a saddening thing. But a very true thing. Indeed. So then you're put forward with the conclusion that perhaps minds can be mischievous and evil, but perhaps with more forethought and with a more accepting direction in mind and solution and so on, in the sense that if we were able to, as a species, collaborate a bit better and get to know each other more and so on, and we had the right mind for that, maybe a lot of evil could be soothed and turned into good. That would be called communication. See, the truth is, maybe we're all beautiful in a way, but maybe a lot of us just kill that beauty from birth. I wholly believe that. Maybe a lot of us just don't let it enter us, you know? Because we all have minds that work in very similar ways. We're just different personality and how to use them and how we use them and so on. So just how we use them. And, it's when you look at the direction that some people take in life, it is very poignant. It is stable, yet it is exciting. That's a lot of speakers, for example, or a lot of professors or so on. People in knowledgeable positions that have a virtue, a fortitude for love and understanding and kindness and intelligence, plain and simply, and so on. And what's interesting is that a lot of that builds itself upon introspection. It is introspection that lets a lot of that happen. So that's pretty cool. Because, well, you always have to reconsider things. You don't just create a song on the first go. Very, very rarely do people create a song on the first go and then just let it be and never touch it and then release it regardless, You have to revisit, you have to recalculate, you have to view something. And then without that warped perception that forms the initial thought, view it again. Because that's a normal thing for a lot of people. including yours truly. So, yeah. To conclude this very short video, just 10 minutes, sorry about that. Introspection is incredibly important. It is what suits our mind in a way and what works it in another and what lets it gravitate to better heights. It just works within its own merit. That's the other thing. Like, if you want to introspectively look at a bullying session that you committed upon someone, then you're not being productive. So it works upon its own merit in that way. Then you are an incessantly petty person, of course. And that's sad. I think anyone could agree with that. That doesn't do it, you know. So, to conclude, you're beautiful and I love you. And let's stop put thought in things a bit more. It's a good goal. It's a great goal, even. Not necessarily for success, just for personal success. Just so that we can be more happy with who we are, you know? So let's start put more thought in things. And that's going to get us even further. Thank you and farewell. I love you. Goodbye.